There will never be a perfect anime. Major spoilers for all of these listed shows. As you already guessed, anything I say in this video is strictly my own opinion. No need to take it close to heart. Of course, nothing and nobody is perfect in this world. Same goes for any form of media, be it movies, TV series, anime and manga, etc. But how come that there's actually no universally loved IPs in the anime industry? Shows that instantly come to my mind are Full Metal Alchemist, Code Geass and Death Note. Everybody watched and loved the shit out of those shows, but they also have some serious downsides and points of conflict. Code Geass and Death Note, for example, fell off extremely hard in their respective second halves. While Code Geass managed to come back with its perfectly executed ending, Death Note's ending wasn't all that satisfying, although they were kinda similar. I mean, both of the main characters die while trying to achieve their goal, but the spectacular ending of Code Geass wasn't enough for Sunrise Studios. They decided they needed one last cash grab. And what the fuck was this? So they just took the greatest aspect of the show's ending and threw it out the window. Forgive me for this rant, but this just happens way too often in the anime industry. Like, why do studios need to artificially prolong their series, effectively destroying the fond memories of the viewers? Maybe merch sales don't suffice? Either way, I'm gonna leave this question open for your own interpretation. Death Note. This was one of the first 5 titles I've ever watched. And while I consider the first half of the show to be perfect, like they just had it down to a T, the second half is the opposite of that. Ever since L died, the plot has become too convoluted and too many new uninteresting characters were introduced. Ultimately, all of them were relevant. Finally, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. While this show isn't one of my favorites actually, I still consider it to be the single anime objectively closest to perfection. There are no inherently bad aspects about the show. Soundtrack, story, world building, great animation, likable characters, villains that you hate with all of your guts. Even the ending is quite satisfying. It is very consistent with almost no stagnation, but there is also nothing groundbreaking about this show. No unique tropes being explored, nothing like that. I'm saying that it basically lacks identity. Like, you can't tell me FMA isn't just another shonen reskin, just an extremely good one. I know that some of you may say that the 3 shows I mentioned are worthless garbage and overrated trash. Well, listen, they are some of the highest critically acclaimed series out there, and rightfully so. All of them are really good. So why isn't there a universally loved anime like Breaking Bad in the world of TV shows? That peaks and then ends, rather than being an artificially prolonged cash grab. It's well known that Better Call Saul tried to capitalize on BB's success, but you can't really call it a cash grab since it's so fucking good. Some people are even saying it's better than its predecessor, and I don't know if I agree with that, but judging by overall quality, these 2 shows are definitely equal. So a universally loved anime can't exist because the studio higher-ups are too greedy? Well, maybe. That's definitely part of the problem. Even if the original content, be it manga or novel, is godlike, the animators are still susceptible to horrible conditions. This definitely can't have a positive reflection on the finalized work. To support that claim, we have a recent MAPPA Jujutsu Kaisen controversy, where the animators literally refused to work, abiding by a horrendous schedule. The studio tried to stop the bleeding by incorporating numerous freelance animators, but the viewers could still notice the drop in quality since episode 17. So perhaps a perfect anime simply can't exist because all of the tropes have already been discovered, explored, and used multiple times. And that can't be it, because even after such a long time of mankind existing, we still manage to come up with new things once in a while. So what's the problem then? There are multiple TV series that are considered to be universally loved, and anime fans can't seem to agree on a single show being quote-unquote perfect. Well, maybe it's because the majority of anime viewers are children and teenagers? No, that surely cannot be it. There is this thing that recently stemmed out from a dialogue with one of my friends. Anime is still considered television in Japan. Therefore, the standards are much lower than, say, Western TV shows and movies, which are meant to be digested in cinemas or via streaming services for a better overall experience. Anime is also 40 years younger than actual cinema, and Japan has a population 1/10 that of English speakers globally. Therefore, in my opinion, movies, TV shows and anime cannot be compared, due to the fundamentally different circumstances surrounding them. But it's still fun to discuss the whys. With all of these facts in mind, I'm gonna make a bold statement here. A perfect anime can't exist, simply because it is too far-fetched from reality. Hear me out on this one. I have never been a huge history nerd, but aren't the things that already happened in history of mankind the most fascinating stuff ever? All of the wars fought, all of the real-life villains slain, the moon landing, global pandemics, the fall of the Roman Empire, the reveal of Jeffrey Epstein's associates next year. You literally can't make this shit up. Any form of media tries to mimic reality by assigning human characteristics to its characters and trying to portray various societal issues that also exist in the real world. Because the studios want us to feel for the characters, they want us to sympathize with them. But sadly, it's just that, an imitation. The real world is much more interesting than any media, including anime, will ever try to be. Now, I say that as a person who has spent most of his life in front of a monitor. So yeah, TV shows and films can be universally loved because they feel more real, and they are more real. You can clearly see the expressions of a human being, and you can even meet the actors in real life. But I don't advise you to do that, don't meet your heroes and all that. Definitely don't throw your life away just to watch this stuff 24/7. Entertainment media is there to do just that, entertain your 21st century ADHD brain. Nonetheless, every person needs to escape their worries from time to time. Everybody does that. Media consumption is one of the healthiest forms of escapism, so keep on consuming, but in moderation, of course. This has been quite an experience, creating this video. It's sort of experimental, but I still hope you guys liked my awful takes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I've been Heaven and Earth, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.